The price you tapped is not the price you got. Not on a chaotic day, on an ordinary one. Most people meet an order book by pressing the button, watching the fill come back worse than the screen promised, and assuming they were slow. You were not. You used an instruction that does not contain a price at all. I'm Rachel from ChainSense. In the next 4 minutes, the 2 instructions everything else is built from, why the same one behaves differently on different days, and the order type that is secretly one of them wearing a hat. There are exactly 2 things you can say to an exchange. Everything else is a variation. A limit order names a price. It says, transact at this number or better, otherwise wait. It rests in the book as an offer others can take. A market order names no price at all. It says, transact now, take what is available. It always fills. And that reliability is what you pay for. You have agreed in advance to accept whatever the book holds at that instant. That is the trade underneath every order type ever built. Certainty of price or certainty of execution. You get one. Anyone offering both is quoting a marketing page. Now the catch on the patient one. A limit order that never gets touched is not caution. It is absence. You believe you have a position. What you have is an intention sitting in a queue. And while it sits there, it is not passive. A resting limit order is a standing offer, and somebody else's market order is what fills it. You are the depth other people walk through. Not a bad thing. Just not what most people picture when they imagine waiting for a better price. So the risk is not that the order is wrong. It is that nothing happens, quietly, for as long as you leave it there. And nothing happening feels exactly like nothing being at stake. So why does an identical market order behave differently on 2 different days? Because a market order does not take a price. It takes rows. It walks the book, consuming resting orders until it is filled. The first row might sit at the number you saw. The next is worse, and the next. In a deep book, you finish inside a row or 2 and never notice. In a thin one, a smaller pair, a quiet hour, a weekend, the same instruction can walk a long way before it finds enough on the other side. 2 consequences, both of which catch people out. How far it walks depends on the order relative to the book, not to your account. The book has never heard of you, and depth is not a property of the exchange. It moves by pair and by hour. Now the one that gets misread most often, a stop order is not a third instruction. It is a market order with a trigger bolted on. Nothing rests in the book, nothing is reserved for you. The venue watches a price, and the moment it is touched, sends a plain market order on your behalf. Which means a stop inherits everything from the last section. It fills at whatever is there. And here is the part worth sitting with. The conditions that trigger stops are exactly the conditions in which books go thin. So the walk is longest precisely when you would least like it to be. Not a defect in the tool. The tool behaving as specified in the weather it was designed for. Reduce only is the quieter one and the more worth knowing. It is a flag rather than a type. It tells the venue this order may only make an existing position smaller, never open a new one. Send it with nothing open and it does not act. That sounds like a footnote, and it is not. Most order mistakes are not wrong prices. They are orders that did something you did not intend. Reduce only fails by doing nothing rather than by doing something, and of the 2 ways to be wrong, that is much the better one. And now, the connection back to the hub. A liquidation is not a decision, it is a forced market order, which makes a liquidation this whole episode, happening to you, with someone else holding the trigger. One line to carry into the rest of this series because it decides most of what follows. An instruction that contains no price is a claim on whatever the book is holding, and depth decides the rest. A market order isn't a price, it's whatever's there. Subscribe to ChainSense. I'm Rachel. See you in the next one.